Okay. So first, I would like my colleague and I to introduce ourselves. My name is Aminong, and I'm a knowledge management expert at Share-Net International and leading the activation grant. And today, I will co-facilitate this session with my colleague, Felice Davis. Felice, please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, good to see you. I'm Felice Davids, knowledge management expert at Share-Net International. I lead Share-Net and the Knowledge Translation Fund currently, and I'm here today to support my colleague Ami with the activation grants.
Thank you, Felice. And so let's get started. First, I would like to share some information and ground rules with you. And first, I don't know if some of you are already used to Share-Net international meetings. At Share-Net, inclusivity and diversity is very important to us. That's why we use an online tool interpretation called Wordly. And we sent yesterday, along with the email, the instruction on how to use it to get you prepared today. So if you need translation in any language you want, you can accept the invite I'm about to send now. And we will see on the right corner of your screen popping a window. You just accept it and you can see the translation. So I'm sending it now. So I sent the invite to Wordly. Can you all see the invitation? It's okay. Yes, please accept it. And you can, the windows will open on the right side of your screen. And you can choose the language you would like to follow for the meeting. And so this will help us. And then to move forward, next is that this is a write shop. So we highly recommend you to have a pen and a paper for the individual writing exercise, because during this session, we will have 3 exercises, and we'll need your participation and to take some notes and write your ideas down and share with the group afterwards. And know that these slides are only for reference, and you can take note while the meeting is going on. Then after this couple of information, let's share some ground rules. And please, I think you all know about that. Raise your hand for questions or type them in the chat at any time you want. And please respect diversity of opinion. And this is a safe space, we believe, and we encourage anyone to share their idea and ensure that people respect their point of view and idea as well. And then, yeah, are there any ground rules you think that you would like us to adopt? Please write them in the chat or raise your hand to let us know. So before moving forward, and I will invite you all to introduce yourself in the chat. Please write your name, your pronoun, and then the organization you are working for, and then the country you are from. That would allow us to get to know each other a bit. So again, thank you for joining and welcome to this meeting. And as stated in the invitation, the objective of this workshop is first to answer questions about the recorded video on information about the participatory grant making process. And you have received the call, and then there is a link in the call to a video where I explain about the participatory grant making process. What are the different steps? What are the criteria, the eligibility, and how goes the selection process? So we take time during this session to give you the opportunity to ask any question, anything you think that is unclear in this video, feel free to raise your hand and ask question. That will be the first part. And then after we will dig into the write shop itself with providing you with writing tips. So this is the outline we will follow. So I've already mentioned it. It's quite simple. Answer the question, then writing tips before concluding. So first, are there questions or comments on the recorded video on information about our grant making process? Please write them the question in the chat or raise your hand and I can answer them. Yes, any question? Please go ahead. You can speak if you want as well. I see a hand from, I will go for Tanita Hossein.
Yes, hi. Hope you're doing well. I am Tanita Hossein. I'm representing from Fulki. It's an NGO in Bangladesh. So we are having an issue. So the issue is that we were a member of Share-Net Bangladesh back in 2018. We did a project with Nirapod and Red Orange. So at that time, the mail ID that we used, it is inactive at this moment. So now that we have created a new, we have registered with a new email ID. It's saying that we have to be an active member 1 month prior to the time that we register for this grant. Yeah. So since we've been a member since 2018, can we still get a way to access this grant, or is it not possible at this moment? So that is my question.
Okay, thank you, Tanita, for your question. Indeed, this year we asked all the potential applicants to be at least a member of Share-Net International for at least 1 month. But for your case, as you explained it, you are a member since 2018. I think it's a different one. And please, could you please send us an email at Share-Net International, info@Share-Net International, and explain, send a request about us reactivating your account. I think that is something that is possible, so you are still eligible for applying for a grant this year because you are a member for a long time. So I think it won't be an issue at all, but I think you have to write an email and request for the reactivation of your account, mentioning all these details we say today. Is that okay?
All right. That's more than enough. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanita. And I see Abdi Fatah. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Abdi Fatah Ahmad. I am from Mesos Children's Village, Somalia. I have 2 questions regarding to this grant applications. One is there any format for the application for the proposal development? That's the first question. The second question is, what about if I am a member personally for this platform, but my organization is not registered? So in this case, can I apply for my organization, or it's not possible for individual applications? Can you make clear for that? If I can personally apply for it, or I need to register organization on the same?
Okay, so I will start with the second question. Is in the criteria, you need to be registered as a company. Even if you are an individual, you have to have your registration as a company to be able to apply for a grant as a lead applicant. When I say a lead applicant, I mean, we have 3 types of grants: the knowledge collaboration one, the knowledge translation, and the knowledge generation grant. In the type 1 collaboration, you are a lead applicant, you need to be registered as a company, and then you might collaborate with other partner organizations or individuals that are not registered. But the lead applicant, meaning leading this application for the collaboration or translation or generation grant, need to be registered as a company. And then the second question for the application, I think if I get it well, it's you ask if there is a format for the application, right? So we have an application form, and you can access it via our digital platform when you are a Share-Net International member. So log in to your account and go to apply for a grant, and then you can access the application form and fill it out before the deadline. So there is a format and form available online. Does this answer your question?
Yes. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
you're
may I
welcome.
continue my question?
Yes, please.
Thank you. This is Musa Yassin from Ethiopia. I'm registered to Share-Net Ethiopia by my own name, but not my organization. Can I apply for the organization?
If your organization is registered as a company, you can apply under the name of this organization.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I see now Hebre Mariam. Sorry if I pronounce very well.
That's all right. Thank you. I am from Ethiopia, Gabra Mariam Tamasken from Arba Minch University, Ethiopia.
Yeah.
My application for membership was approved recently in early this week.
Okay.
Can I be eligible for the application for the grant?
I am sorry, but based on the criteria, you are not eligible because you need to be a member for at least 1 month.
1 month.
This, yeah. So unfortunately, less than 1 month, you can't apply for this round.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry for that, but yeah, that's the rules we put this year.
I will apply later. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm very interested.
Or maybe there is an option as well. If you can partner with another organization who is member more than 1 month, you can, for example, together apply for a collaboration grant. And as a partner applicant, you don't need to be a Share-Net member or have a registered organization. So that is an option.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. And then I see Montaser. Please go ahead from Jordan.
Hello, Ami. My name is Nasser. I am the co-founder of Pulse. It's a non-profit organization registered in the government, especially the Ministry of Health. My question is, I think you focused on a registered company more than a registered organization. Is there a difference?
Oh, there is a difference. It's company or organization. The most important is to be registered because we have to transfer money to you as a lead applicant, and we need this data to be able to do that.
Okay, understood. And my second question, if I may, so I submitted for the membership last week, and I received the approval yesterday. Does that mean that I cannot apply for the first grant?
That's yeah, unfortunately the same answer that I've just give. So if you apply, you are a member less than 1 month, you can't apply it as a lead applicant for the 3 types of grants. But one alternative is you can partner with a member who is a lead more than 1 month in the type 1 grant, which means the collaboration, and you can apply as a partner organization or company. So that might help you. But for yourself, you can lead an application for this round. Sorry about it, but yeah, I have many reasons why we put that rules this year.
Okay, my last question is, how can I know who are exactly applying so we can partner with them?
This is something that I think you have to do yourself within your network. In Jordan, for example, you are a member of Share-Net Jordan, right? So a member of Share-Net Jordan, you might know organization there. Please reach out to them, ask them, are you applying? Are you planning to apply? And can I partner with you? I think that's what I would advise to do, and try to find a partner. Unfortunately, we can do that from our side. It's up to you to find an organization and which have the same interest than you and want to apply, and then you can try to find something to do together for this year.
Okay. Okay, understood. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Montasa. And now I see Hamisi. Please go ahead.
Yes, well, thank you so much, and thank you for this platform. I am Hamisi from Kenya. My question is, the county that I'm in, we don't have a policy to address issues of adolescent sexual and reproductive health. So my question is, which category of the funding are we eligible to apply? Are we eligible to apply because we want to come up with advocacy measures that will ensure that the county, Lamu County, that we are, at least come up with a draft policy to address issues of adolescent sexual reproductive health and rights. So are we eligible to apply for knowledge collaboration or knowledge translation, or because there are 3 types of grants, type 1, 2, and 3. And then another question, sorry, are we eligible also to look for a partner and collaborate together? But again, the partner may not be a member of Share-Net, but we are a member of Share-Net. So are we eligible to with a non-member of Share-Net? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Hamisi. I think you can apply because it's a starting point. As you mentioned, there is no policy in your country. That would be very nice that you are on it as you are a member of Share-Net. Please apply. You are eligible. Yeah. We don't have any priorities for this grant funding. Any themes or topic that you judge is very relevant in your context, please feel free to apply and write a proposal about it. As long as it's related to SRHR, it's okay. So we have no priorities for the grant. Does it answer your question?
Thank you. Yes. And are we eligible to apply with a non-member of Share-Net?
You are a member more than 1 month, you can apply with a non-member as a partner applicant in the type 1 collaboration. So you can apply.
Only type 1.
Yeah, the type 1. If you want to collaborate, you need to apply for the type 1. But if you want to apply as an individual organization, you can go for the translation 1 or the generation 1.
Okay, so for the type 1, we can just partner with, regardless whether they are non-members or not.
Yeah, regardless of they are member or not, regardless of their company, organization, or individual. The important is on the lead applicant. The lead applicant who will be, as I mentioned in the presentation, is the focal point of Share-Net, who will receive the funds and is responsible to distribute these funds to the as a partner applicant. So this lead applicant need to be a Share-Net member. It need to be registered company or organization. But in the type 1, the partner applicant can be any organization or individual, and it's not mandatory for them to be a Share-Net member. But however, I would say we highly encourage them to join our networking, of course, right?
Yes. Thank you so much. I will reach out.
You're welcome. Okay, next I see Sarah and Dolly. I will take these 2 last, then we can move forward. And then for the rest of the question, maybe you can write them in the chat and I will answer them. Is that okay? So go ahead, please, Sarah.
Okay, thank you. My question is, are there any thematic areas of interest?
Yeah, I just mentioned it. No thematic area, no priorities. This funding is open to all teams and topics that might be relevant in your context. Feel free to write a proposal on it and apply.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Please, Dolly, let's take Dolly for as last, and the rest I will take the question in the chat.
Oh, thank you so much. My question is that the 3 categories of to be applied for you have mentioned. Can one organization apply for 2 or under 2 categories?
You
one
can apply
sending 2 applications.
2 applications. I know what you mean. You can apply for 2 categories. If the topic, I would say, or the proposal itself are different.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can go, for example, as a for a translation grant, you apply for a proposal, and then you can partner with an other organization for the collaboration one. But you can't lead 2 applications.
Okay.
So as a lead applicant, you are allowed to apply 1.
Okay.
But if you want to, you can apply for a translation and then collaborate as a partner in a collaboration grant with another organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, thank you so much. My second question. We are registered, but we are from Africa in Kenya, and the organization is under Share-National Netherlands. Does that affect us?
You are registered as member of Share-Net Netherlands.
Yes.
And you are based in Kenya, right?
Yes.
It doesn't affect it because the most important is being a member of Share-Net International or any other hub. So you can just apply.
Yes.
Doesn't make a difference. Yeah.
And through this, could I just ask Amisi, I've had somebody talking, Amisi from Kenya, if you could collaborate, if he could put his contact on the chat box so that we could talk later. Amisi, please.
Okay, it's okay. Amnesty, please respond to Dolly and put your contact in the chat so they can reach out to you to think about how you can collaborate. Is that okay, Dolly?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, great. That's nice. So maybe you have other question. It's very nice to see that you had the opportunity chance to watch the video and get some information. And I hope my answers clarify a bit about this knowledge, this activation grant making process. Now let us move and go dig into the right shop. Let me click next slide. Okay, so the right shop itself has as objective first to improve a relevant skill for proposal writing, as its name. And so it will allow you to understand what is knowledge product. What we noticed that a lot of applicants are struggling with understanding what we mean by knowledge product, but also it will help you to reduce the pitfalls and challenge experienced by the applicant. Generally, you all know how to write a proposal, but it's still good to improve ourselves and learn every day. So the next objective is to diversify the scope of SRHR teams and knowledge products. Most of applicants, they are aware about the, I would say, more focused topic on SRHR, such as when we talk about gender-based violence, SRHR youth, or we talk about infertility, but there are a lot of topics that are left behind and in some contexts are not really addressed. So it's an opportunity to share with you a wide range of diverse scope of SRHR team to inspire you on probable topic you might work for your proposals. But also, this workshop will help you to learn the basics of sound methodology of as a reminder as well. Maybe you probably already know that, but it might be an opportunity to remind us and align. And then, last but not least, it will strengthen translation and dissemination strategy, because a lot of knowledge is produced, but mainly people don't understand how to translate it. The aim of this write-up is to really clarify all this stuff and help you to really understand what we mean by translation and pay attention on the dissemination strategy, which are an important step in the project implementation. So when we talk about writing proposal, we can say that's an art and science when you do that, because we will use scientific, I would say, rules to write a proposal, sound methodology, but it's an art. You need to be creative for that and have some imagination, be innovative to come up with a very nice proposal. So I will list here some kind of keywords that I will advise to have already in mind when it comes to first things to do is identifying the issue. It's the first step if you want to write a proposal. For sure, it's the first thing you think about. Which issue do I have in my context? Which issue do I want to address? And then the first keyword is about your experience. It's generally, I would say it must link it to your experience. Because if you are working on SRHR and youth, and then you want to write a proposal in, I would say, for example, gender-based violence, maybe you don't have this experience and that won't work the best as you expect. So we advise you to really link this issue to your experience, what you are working on in your context. Then another keyword is be consistent about the issue you want to address throughout the proposal. What we notice generally is in some proposals, people can start with a topic and then by the end, they end up talking about a different themes or issue. So something to avoid and be consistent about the issue you identified at the start and stay really consistent through all the proposal writing till the dissemination. Then ask yourself, why did you select that issue? What was your motivation? That will help you to think about the rationale you will write for that proposal, how you put that into context. Why this issue? So these are points also to look for, and then also in which way your knowledge of product is linked to this issue. So does it help you to understand it better? Does it further translate knowledge about it? You have, for example, a research already done. You want to produce a knowledge product related to this. You have to make this link between the two. Or maybe you want in your proposal first to conduct some kind of basic research for evidence base, and then from there have a knowledge product. Always try to understand if both are very linked. And then, as already mentioned, it's an art writing proposal. So be innovative, be creative, really. Be mindful about what has been already produced. Why would I write a proposal on something that has been already done? We want to push and advance the SRHR agenda. So step by step, build on what is already existing and try to bring it further. So it's what we are expecting from you when you identify this issue. And last but not the least is think about intersectionality. By that I mean that choosing an issue that is interconnected to many sectors, including the SDGs, meaning the Sustainable Development Goal. So that's the first step when you want to write a good proposal, sitting, reflecting on and identifying your issue, taking into account these keywords that help you structure well how you identify this issue. And this leads us to our first exercise for this write-up. As I've mentioned at the start, please have a pen and a paper where you can do your exercise. So now we go back to the primary school. And for this exercise, we have, I will give you 15 minutes to think about one, select the SRHR issue team you have now, you want to work on, and then to explain why you select this specific issue, that means the problem statement, And following, you can write down in which way your expertise is linked to this issue, and then explain then why you have selected a specific knowledge product to address this issue. And then finally, explain us in which way your approach to this issue is innovative or needed in your context. So these 5 questions will guide you through the exercise. So we have now 33 and at 48, right? 15 minutes to do the exercise. And after the 15 minutes, one volunteer participant can take the floor, read and share their ideas, and then other participants can provide feedback, and there will be 15 minutes to discuss a bit about the examples. Is that okay for everyone? Okay, let's get started. So at 49 now, I will stop you. Yeah?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you please name examples of specific knowledge products?
It will come later a bit in the presentation. So for now, I will ask you to just go with the flow.
Okay.
Be free. It's a safe space. Don't be afraid to make mistake. We learn from it. So right now, your idea, that's the aim of the exercise. And then feel free to share. And if there's something we can improve, we'll share with the whole group. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Nice.
Hello.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Hello.
Hi, hello. We wanted to inquire, we're going in breakout rooms for us to be able to conduct the session. I'm not too sure how this is going about. And maybe I missed it. My network was a bit static. May you also guide us on that? Thank you.
You are mute. We can't hear
Sorry,
you.
I was muted.
Yes.
So I was saying that we stay in the main group. We want to go into breakout rooms, and we'll share with all the participants. So the idea is to think about, identify the issue, themes you want to work on, and then based on these 5 questions, you can, in 15 minutes, write down some ideas, and then after one participant can volunteer to share, and the others can provide feedback. And if you have questions as well, we can answer them. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay. Just to mention that the recording of the session will be shared afterward with all of the participants. So you don't need to record it on your own computer. Yeah. So we have 2 minutes left. So time is up. And before moving, someone asked about the French translation. So just to mention again that we are using Wordly, an online tool translation. And then let me send again the invite. So you can accept the invitation and choose the language you would like for the translation of the meeting. Let me send the invitation again. Yes, just sent. So please accept the invitation. Okay. Oh yeah, they want me to say it in French. Thank you. So I will speak French a bit. Je disais que si vous voulez utiliser Wordly, l'outil de comment de traduction en ligne, j'ai envoyé l'invitation. Il suffit d'accepter l'invitation et vous verrez une fenêtre s'ouvrir sur la partie droite de votre écran. Et vous pouvez choisir maintenant la langue française pour lire, en fait, traduire pendant le meeting. Donc, c'est pendant la réunion. Donc, c'est un peu notre option en tant que traduction pour vous permettre vraiment de suivre la présentation, peu importe votre langue. Okay, so let me switch now to English. Is there any volunteer to share their ideas with us? Please raise your hand. Okay, I see user. Please go ahead. And oh, there are a lot of people. Unfortunately, I will just pick up one. Maybe you can go for the next exercise.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I think this is me, right?
Yes.
So I will be very brief because I think that I will be learning from this session. So I'm not afraid of being wrong or right. Okay. So the select and SRHR issue, what I think that we should aware the adolescent boys and girls to aware about the basic SRHR issue. Yeah, so this is our thing. And
please, could you please repeat? I can hear you very well.
Sorry,
you please repeat?
Okay, so what I am trying to say that we select an issue to raise awareness among adolescent boys and girls on basic SRHR issue.
Okay,
This
you
is the
want to
thing.
raise awareness among adolescents
Yes,
regarding
adolescent
SRHR issue.
issue. Exactly, the basic SRHR issue.
Okay,
And
good.
why we have selected this specific issue? Because country like Bangladesh, SRHR issue for adolescent is an stigma. Children have lots of misconception about SRHR issue, and they do not get the proper information from not from the school, not from their parents. They only get the information from their peer group or from their friends, but they are not get the proper and appropriate SRHR related issues. And for that, the SRHR services in Bangladesh is very poor. Though Ministry of Family Welfare, they have already started the adolescent friendly SRHR services, but the utilization rate is very, very poor because it is stigmatized. So that is why adolescent boys and girls, they are deprived of the SRHR services. Okay. So, and my organization, I don't want to mention the name right now because it will, I mean, they disclose our theme and something. So my organization has been working with adolescents in different issues like water and sanitation, health, nutrition, all these things. We have been working in more than 2,200 schools in all over the Bangladesh. So there are a lot of adolescent boys and girls are participating. So this is our expert area, and we can provide the platform since we work in the schools. Okay. And the knowledge product, I mean, from our understanding, the knowledge product, what we are planning to do is, because if we teach the teacher to provide the different SRHR issue to discuss with the student, teachers are not feel comfortable. Yeah, because it is a stigma. And when they, I mean, that is why it is not the proper way to provide the messages, through teaching the traditional method. That is why what we are planning, we will build a website, or if there is existing government website, or whether there is any existing platform, there we will incorporate the proper SRHR issues. And in every school, every toilet, every common room, or every school board, when the notice board, where it will say that if you have any question related to SRHR issue, you can visit this website, or you can visit this I mean, yeah, in this platform. So children can check that website. From there, they can get these services.
Okay,
So
okay.
this is very briefly I can tell. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Thank you, user. It's the name I see on the screen, and that's
Okay, I will say.
excellent example. So, a quick recap is you would like the topic you would like to work on is raising awareness among adolescents on basic SRHR issue. And then the why is because it's a stigma in Bangladesh. And then based on what you share, your organization is already working with schools and young people, adolescents. So you have an extensive experience in working with adolescents. And then as knowledge product, you would like to build a website or use an already one to provide young people with information on SRHR, and this would be disseminated through infographics. Having these infographics everywhere where you can mention to young people, they can find out information on SRHR by going to this website. So knowledge products website and using some infographics. Right, user? So now I give the floor to the audience. Do you have questions for user or comment or yeah, like feedback? I see now Asya, Abbas.
Yeah, this is me, user. So I'm
oh yeah,
more
Asya.
like
Okay, thank you,
yes.
Asya, for volunteering and for the nice example.
Thank you.
Any comment, question?
Yeah, may I?
Yeah, please go ahead, Mukul.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, the previous speaker, I agree with him. Basically, I will add some areas with this discussion. That is, early marriage. You may know that in South Asia, Bangladesh is the highest rate of early marriage at this moment. So, with these adolescent issues and SRHR issues, you can add this area. And yes, we also have huge experience. Basically, we are implementing SRHR program in Chittagong Hill Tracts, and there have 300 youth groups. So it's a huge coverage. Apart from this, we are working with the around 40 high schools in the Bangladesh. So we have some experience on this issue, and I will add the program that is basically community mobilizations and awareness raising program in the schools and adolescent group. That will be much impactful, I think. And in addition, we would like to work with school management committee and also school management, because at this moment we are just providing some sanitary napkins and such types of product to the children and adolescents. And currently, basically, don't have any what I will say, any space in the schools. Even no any teachers so well aware that has been mentioned in our earlier speakers. So teacher might be a very good friend, and culturally we are not much friendly with the teachers. So it's one of the barriers, and we have some stigma that mentioned here. So I think yes, it will be very good approach to work with the children and also adolescents, and also eliminating the early marriage. And last one is we would like to develop a community agency, especially adolescent groups in that group. So they will work in the community and they will prevent the early marriage and also promote the SRHR issues among their peers. So yes, this was my addition here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Milko. That's a very nice suggestion, addition. And I think they will use it to improve their idea. Nice, that's what we expect from you. Anyone else want to comment on this example? I see
yes.
Abbas, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so thank you very much. My comment is that I wanted to find out, does Share-Net have a objective definition of what a knowledge product is? Because from my experience, I see that there is a possibility that a lot of organizations may define knowledge products others. Producing an infographic may be a knowledge product for me. Organizing a school-based club may be a knowledge product for me. So in the context of knowledge product, what does Share-Net define as knowledge product for these grants?
Yeah. Thank you, Abbas, for this very relevant question. And I think one person has already asked this question. So we'll list what we define as knowledge products later in this meeting. By the end, there's last part. So there is a long list and many more very diverse. We will come to that. But as you mentioned, for example, based on this example, the website and the infographics are example already. So please just a couple of a bit of patience, and we'll go. We will come to that. Is that okay? Okay. So I think to keep track on time, we have only 2 minutes left for this exercise. So I will please continue writing your suggestions for this example in the chat, so they can take that into account. And also, if you have any questions regarding this first exercise, please write them down. Maybe one comment from my side, that's a very nice example, is like to ask or request not forgetting to think about the question 5, to how to explain in which way your approach to this issue is innovative or needed in your context. Maybe very emphasize on it. That would be very nice. Okay, so great. Now I will give the floor to my colleague Felice, who will take it over from here. So Felice, over to you.
Yes. So as you are developing your proposal, it's important to think through how you will approach research and knowledge translation. So first of all, it's really important to use research-based sound methodology. Secondly, it's important to consider engaging with the groups of people relevant to your knowledge product to ensure their meaningful participation. It's also very important to apply ethical approaches. What does that mean? Think, for example, of confidentiality. If you're working with young people under age standards, think of sharing your research results with your interviewees, doing validations, etc. Then in terms of knowledge translation, you can either create new research to translate this knowledge and further disseminate it, or you can base your knowledge product on existing research and think of how you will translate that knowledge, develop a product that helps disseminate the knowledge. Finally, using a rights affirming language that is in line with human rights principles and standards. So a rights-based approach is very important for Share-Net International. Then any research has limitations and challenges to its execution. And being aware of these upfront may contribute to mitigating harm. It will also ensure that you improve the accuracy of your results. Reflecting on the limitations and challenges of your idea, writing them down and finding ways to mitigate them in your methodology is very important. And a SWOT analysis can be done to assess the challenges that you might face. SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. As you'll see on the next slide, we will now do an exercise around this. So looking at this matrix, you can think of the strengths, so the positive aspects of your proposed knowledge product. You can think of its weaknesses, and then thinking of external factors, things outside of your control that can be of influence. What things could be helpful, so what opportunities are there, and also what outside influences could be harmful, what could be the threats. So we'll take about 15 minutes for you. Again, this is an individual exercise. We won't go into breakouts. So it's for you to think through. You already took a first step. You identified a potential theme or issue in the first exercise. Now take a next step and think through, okay, what could be the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? Maybe to clarify, let's go to the next slide, which shows an example. So we'll keep this up as you go through the exercise. So we will now take about 15 minutes. Let's start again at 20 minutes, approximately 20 minutes past 3. So 15 minutes you working individually and think through what could be the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for your idea. Afterwards, I will ask one person again, just 1 minute at a time, to share what they learned by doing this analysis. All right. Good luck. If you have any questions, you can write them in the chat in the meantime. All right, 1 minute left. Then we will start again in plenary. All right, let's get going. Is there anyone who wants to share what they learned through this exercise? Becky, I see you have raised your hand. Do you interested in sharing, or did you have a question about the exercise? You're currently muted, so I cannot hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I said I just joined and I was raising my hand to ask what is happening since I wasn't hearing anything, but somebody else asked and I was clarified that they were doing an exercise.
Ah, yes, indeed. It's I understand if you join and there's silence, it's confusing, but we were indeed doing this exercise. Thank you.
Welcome.
Is there anyone who wants to share back what they learned by doing this exercise? Montajer, I see you're interested in. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. First of all, the strengths are so we follow do no harm and do no more harm approach, intersectional approach, and the expertise of individuals associated to conduct this project have their expertise are huge, related to local policies, international policies, HIV/AIDS, SRHR, gender and sexuality. The weaknesses are limited access to contact MSM due to fear of disclosing their sexuality, and limited data about MSM in Jordan. Opportunities are multiple non-governmental and community-based organizations and universities are interested. And also a regional non-governmental organization will provide capacity building about connecting with MSM. The threats are lack of funding and backlash from the local society and the government, and interventions from the government.
Great, thank you. That was a really excellent example. So I've deduced that your issue or theme is you're working on MSM, correct? So SRHR for the target group of MSM?
Yes, generally SRHR of MSM, more specifically the HIV case.
Yes, great. Thank you. What I really liked in your example, what you did super well, is indeed focusing the strengths and weaknesses on internal factors and seeing opportunities and threats at the external level. So for the strengths, you were talking about the approach you're taking, the do no harm approach. You're talking about the expertise of the people that you're working with. In terms of weaknesses, you're thinking about the information that's available to you as an organization, that limited information on MSM would be available in Jordan. And the opportunities you were talking about, for example, universities, regional NGOs that are interested or will provide capacity. Threats, indeed, an external threat can very much be lack of funding, and backlash, also very relevant. Is there anyone in the group who has any tips or feedback on this example in terms of doing the SWOT analysis? Sarah?
Yes, so this is also a question for the group in general. I can see on the example shared on the screen that under the strength section, you used the lack of information as an opportunity to conduct this project. So is there any way we can turn threats into strengths, if I may say? I need more elaboration on that area.
Yes, that's a very good question. In this case, it's about the relevance of the proposed project. So information might not yet be available. Then it could actually be a strength that your knowledge product will work towards providing that information. So indeed, sometimes a lack of information can be a weakness. It can make it more difficult for you to do your project. But it can also be a strength, because what you'll be doing is actually really finding and exploring new knowledge, which can be super important. So thank you very much for that question, Sarah. Does anyone else have any thoughts or reflections, wants to add to the example that was provided?
Felix, can I add something here in the Bangladesh?
Yes, Mukul, please go ahead.
If I say from my organization, then I will say our strength is we have wide experience to work on SRHR issues in the country. So this is our one of the strengths, and we have very good reputations, including the government agencies, and we have some modules on these issues. So it's our strength. We're thinking like that way. And another weakness is when we are going to work in the school level, then there are some limitations. Limitations means we require a huge bureaucratic process. Otherwise, we can't enter into the school. Say, for example, if we want to conduct a SRHR session in the school, so we have to take another permission from the Ministry of Education or Family Welfare or any other areas. So that is one of the weakness, I think. In addition, if we say the government has the interest to work with us, especially on SRHR issues and hard to reach areas. So they have shown their interest. Basically, we have organized a national conference on SRHR issues and youth issues. In that conference, the representative from the government, they have shown the interest to work with us. So it's our opportunity to work with them, and very interestingly, and I think it's our very good opportunity to work with national adolescent health strategies, because Bangladesh government has the strategy and that's targeting to the SDGs, and that will end in 2030. So it's our opportunity to ally with the government priority. And if we say the threat, yes, one of the threat is not all the government officials are much aware about these issues, and they have some negligence, especially health service provider. So far, I know in this discussion, the representative from the Ministry of Health, one person is here. I think he or she can add to my comments. So that is one of the threat. Suppose in the hospital, they have the mandate to keep a place for adolescents where they can share, they can exchange their views and feelings. But very unfortunately, that's not in all the hospitals. So I think it's a kind of threat that our medical professionals or healthcare providers, they are not much aware of these issues. Sometimes their attitude is very harsh, very harsh. They react to the adolescent in very different way. That's why the adolescent doesn't want to take any services from the healthcare professionals. So they have to aware about this. And I think this is my observation and my comments is that is one of the threats to facilitate the program throughout the country and in the country. Yes, that was from my end. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much for providing another excellent example of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What I really like in your example is that you really thought through also how different parts of the government may respond differently, or even there might be differences that certain individuals might not be as interested or aware, when at the same time, the government as an entity has shown interest. So that level of specificity is really, really great. What you're also touching on a little bit is the target audience, which is an excellent bridge to our next slide. So I want to round off this exercise for now. Thank you so much, Mukul and Montage, for your examples. So moving on is indeed, it's very important as you're writing your proposal to identify your target audience. That is the people you're trying to reach, you're trying to target with your knowledge product. Here, there's a difference between, first of all, your primary target audience, which is the group you are targeting with your knowledge product. And make sure to be really specific here. Explain who they are. It's not just marginalized groups, but really think through which, what part of the marginalized groups are you really trying to reach? Then next to your primary target audience, there's also your secondary target audience, which are those individuals or organizations that can also benefit from this knowledge, even though they are not specifically targeted by you. So an example, say your knowledge product is a video. And in this video, you're targeting SRHR needs of single mothers. Then your primary target audience would be single mothers. Your secondary target audience, in that case, could be policymakers, public health practitioners. They could also really benefit from this knowledge, even though they're not the groups you were directly trying to reach. Another example would be a campaign about youth and sexuality. Your primary target audience could be young people of a certain age set. And your secondary target audience could be the Ministry of Education or parents, for example. Overall, when you're writing a proposal, it's very important to set goals and objectives and be smart about them. Smart. First of all, S, standing for specific. In order for your goals and objectives to be effective, you need to be really clear about what exactly you want to accomplish. Secondly, you want it to be measurable. Make sure that the goals you set can be measured, so you can actually track progress and you'll know when you have reached your goals and objectives. Make sure they are achievable. Give yourself a bit of a reality check. Is your goal realistic? Can you reasonably accomplish what you're setting out to do? Then make sure it's relevant. Think about the bigger picture and the why of what you're doing. This, for example, relates to what we were talking about earlier. If certain information is not out there yet, then it might be very relevant for you to develop a knowledge product that addresses that knowledge gap. Finally, time bound. Make sure you set a clear time frame for your objectives. Think of when you're going to do what. So be smart. All right, our next exercise focuses around being smart. So again, we'll take this time about, let's make it 10 minutes, quarter two, so 12 minutes, and think through this issue you've proposed in the previous exercises. You've already done your SWOT analysis as well. Now think through, is it smart? And you'll find an example on the next slide, the current slide. So take about 10 minutes and think through, is my proposal, is my idea smart? The SMART check. All right, good luck and let us know in the chat if you have any questions.
Welcome.
All right, let's get started again. The SMART check: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. Is there anyone who would like to share back what they discovered through this exercise? No?
Yeah. May I?
Yes, Irfan, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. We were thinking about when we discussed this from the very beginning about the SRHR. So SRHR, in my view, is a very broad terminology, and there is a lot of information that is related to it. What we were trying to do is we specified it to the menstrual health management, just for an example for this task. So the goal that I wrote is to enhance the menstrual health management education and diminish societal stigma associated with menstruation through comic books within the next 18 months. So we as a knowledge product, we use comic books, and the objective for this would be like to increase the knowledge and understanding of say 2000 school going adolescents through the effective use of comic books for managing their menstruation cycle, and help them understand the biological changes that's happening in their bodies as they grow up.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this example. I really appreciate what you're saying. SRHR is very broad. Indeed, we're not looking for proposals that want to address all of SRHR. Be specific about the topic you want to address. It sounds like you've really specified what you're doing. You're setting clear goals and objectives. Your knowledge product, it's very clear what you want to achieve. Comic books. I like the creativity. It's not part of the SMART approach, but the creativity is also added to the SMART approach here. You also were mentioning a time frame. So these are really aspects to think through as you develop your proposal. Thank you very much for sharing this example. Does anyone have any feedback or any other thoughts or reflections on the smart check? I see some applause. All right, then let's swiftly move on. Looking at my colleague, yes. All right, then I'll hand back the floor to Ami.
Yes, thank you a lot, Felice, for guiding the participant through these two exercises. It was very interesting listening to the examples, and then just a kind small recap of what we have discussed for these three exercises. We had first to identify your goal, then think about the research and how you translate knowledge, and then look at the limitation of your research by conducting a SWOT analysis is very important. And then look at your goals and objectives for the research you want to conduct or your proposals, and be smart. Do the smart check is very important. That will help you structure your proposal and be very precise and concise on what you want to address in the SRHR field. So normally we should have a coffee time break of 15 minutes, but I suggest we move on as the session is taking long, and we wanted to give you the opportunity to go through this exercise. So the next step will be, as I announced it at the start, to talk about, give some tips how to write these things, proposals, what to do, what not to do, and give you some example about what is a knowledge product, because it's a very frequent question that come in again, and then provide some dissemination strategy and methodology of research. So first, let's talk about what we are looking for this activation grant. At Share-Net International, we really want to look for knowledge broker, and that means for us providing the right information, knowledge to the right people. And there are a lot of different type of knowledge, and there might be some gaps due to how the system is complex. There's a lot of research conducted, but still we see that this knowledge generating is not reaching out the end user, and if it reach the end user is not at the best of right format for them to understand the message we want to conduct. So I have for you here this video that describe us, give us a little bit short video on the idea of what is a knowledge broker, and that you know that at Share-Net International, we really expect you to come up with brilliant proposals and with the perspective that you are a knowledge broker, you want to improve SRHR among the community. So let's go. Yes. Let us know if you encounter any.
A knowledge broker is premised on the idea that there are people who are seeking answers to questions on the one hand, and that there are people who have answers to questions on the other. That somehow, for some reason, there's a breakdown in knowledge systems that is preventing those people from connecting up. Knowledge brokers are really people that help bridge those gaps and fill those voids.
Translating technical information or very hard numbers, very quantitative things, for example, into something that's much more accessible, something that's much more understandable. If you haven't worked in a research space, but you're a policymaker trying to make a decision, how do you make sense of all of this research evidence, all of these results?
I think a knowledge broker is somebody who's able to bring these different kinds of perspectives together. There are hierarchies of knowledge, we are aware of these. To me, a knowledge broker is somebody who helps make that market equal for everybody, but also facilitates conversations to bring these different perspectives together, which are equally valid.
Linking research
to development actors in a language that can be understood by any end user, and in that matter they are knowledge brokers.
So the term knowledge broker is becoming quite popular. I guess if you think about a marketplace, we often think about brokers who bring people together, bring ideas together. Knowledge is a commodity in many ways. It's an important asset. People produce it, people need it. Think tanks increasingly are playing this knowledge broker role, and in doing so they're helping to demonstrate that citizens, for example, have a huge amount of knowledge which perhaps is not always counted.
All right. So this was about being a knowledge broker, as I mentioned, and in the video you see that there's different angle on how we understand what is a knowledge broker. But for a summary of all of them, I would say that that's like bringing the right knowledge to the right person. And so you hear about knowledge translation, how to really make this knowledge accessible to the person, in a way that they can understand what you mean and which message you want to convey. So that's what we want you to be as a Share-Net member. And then this leads us to example of knowledge product. Because for this activation grant, you have 3 different types of grant. The collaboration one, the translation, and the generation one. We know that there are a lot of evidence base already produced in the SRHR field. A lot of evidence generation, even still there are gaps that needs to be filled. That's why we have these small grants, I would say the generation one of 7.5 thousand euros to still fill up these gaps. But we really emphasize on now this evidence that is very there, how to really bring it to the people that are the end user that need it. And then we emphasize on translation and how to translate this knowledge in something that the community can consume. So that's why we call this knowledge product. And this is a list of examples ranging from videos, vlog, blogs. You can see policy briefs, toolkits, as we already mentioned, infographics, or guideline strategy, and so forth. There are many more. So afterward, we share this slide. You can use this as an example and know that this knowledge product is the product, I would say, containing knowledge, and that's very adapted to the audience you are conveying the message. That's how you understand it. So when you conduct some basic research generation, you have your findings. If you want, for example, your audience is professor at the universities, for example, if you want to convey this information, you will go for a policy brief or like an article, scientific article, sorry. And if you want, for example, to convey this information to policymaker, you will go for a policy brief. For example, you conduct research among communities, mothers, or young people, and you want to share this information, how you want them to use it at best. You will go for example, some video, something very easy for them to understand with a basic language that convey your message very clearly and precise. So that's the idea of knowledge product. When we ask you what is your knowledge product, see how what you will use or will produce to really translate this knowledge that maybe you might generate in your proposal, or this is already an existing evidence that you will use to make a knowledge product out of it, and pay attention on how you link this knowledge product to your I would say your evidence. It's very important. So these are the examples as asked it very frequently, and then your proposal can also be a combination on different products. We have already have this example when the first exercise, they want to design a website, and then they have infographics. They could also add some videos of blogs. It depends. So in your proposal, you can have different type of knowledge product, but still how you reach out to your end user. So think outside the box, be creative and innovative. about this. And then I have a couple of do's for this activation grant. Make sure that your knowledge product will be evidence-based. I've already said that. But also respond to the question and revise your answer. You write your proposal, you have a research question, try to respond to that question. And at some point during your implementation, revise if you are very, very doing well and answering this question. But also include feedback loops with target audience. We mentioned it, how to ensure meaningful participation of the people you are targeting. And that's very important to have this in mind, this target audience and the right holder, who are this end user. It's very important. But also you have to really showcase technical requirements. For example, when you say that you want to design a website, and in your proposal, you just write, I want to design a website. If a peer reviewer read that, it will might wondering, do you have the capacity to do that? So you have to describe clearly how you will design it. What is your technical requirement, know-how of the development of certain knowledge product. Because developing, for example, a video might be easier than building a website. So you have to give this proof of evidence that you are very able and you have the capacity to develop that website in your context. So mention it clearly in your proposals. But also, already said, ambitions are very nice. It's good to dream big, but plan something feasible. The implementation time for this activation grant is 9 months. So when you write your proposal, bear that in mind. I have to be able to implement my project within this 9 months. Yes, so within the allocated time. And then provide actual budget estimate. For the application phase, we don't ask for a very detailed budget. So you will see, find a section in the application form when you can provide us for the minimal information about your budget. So write an estimated budget, but in budget fitting below the maximum amount for the type of grant you are applying for. Bear that in mind. And then consider needs and gaps in knowledge, of course. We already mentioned it. So these are do's that we provide you kind of advice on how to really write a good proposal. And then be clear about your strategy to reach stakeholder with your knowledge product. So I have already described it. Based on your target group, you might think about different types of knowledge product to produce in order to reach out them. You think about young people, you know that they like using phones, they like game, for example. Try to be innovative, creative, how you can reach out to them by adapting this knowledge product to their, I would say, needs or habits. And then beside the do's, we have the don'ts. Yes, please, there are things that we advise you not to do for this grant round. Don't leave the submission to the last minute. Start on time. And you have the opportunity, now we have the application process fully an online system. So you can start filling out your form, save it and come again. So please start on time and make sure that you finalize filling out your application form before the deadline, which is the 31st of October, CET time at midnight. So it's like a very online system. At midnight, it will close. So no opportunity for extension. So make sure to write your proposal on time. Also, we spoke about this right-based approach, diversity, respect, equity. So don't use discriminatory language. It's very important when you're writing your proposal. We are now using participatory grant making process. Applicants will review each other. So bear in mind your co-applicant reading your proposal and be respectful about the words you will use. And for the budget, don't ask more than you need. What do you mean by that? That means that, for example, if you apply for a translation grant, the upper limit is 10,000 euros. And then, for example, you only need 8,000 for example. Just ask this 8,000. Because if you ask 10,000 and in your budget discussion, we realize that you need less than what you ask it. So it's won't work. We will ask you to revise your budget, and it might take time or maybe be a disadvantage for you as the competition is very fierce. So ask for what you need for the budget and don't go over the upper limit for depending on the type of grant. Also, I mentioned it, don't assume the selection committee already know. For example, you said, I will build a website. It's one sentence and you don't, explain. So it's very important to provide us with all the details. As long as you don't write more than the upper limit of word requested for the section, it's okay. Explain it clearly, so it's very clear for the grant committee. They can have all the information to really assess your proposal very well. And then don't leave gap of information or leave section unfilled. We saw that this is part of the eligibility check. And now it's not anymore, I would say, possible because we make it mandatory to fill out all the sections. If you leave out one section, you can apply your application for. But that doesn't mean that you only fill out one sentence. We need to provide us with all the information necessary and with detail on what you want to do for that section. And for the next one is don't include annex in your proposal. And again, it's an online system. You don't have this opportunity to add some annex. It's only filling out this application form online. And after that, talking about the do's and don'ts, now move to explore new themes. And then I mentioned it when you talk about SRHR field, there are main topics that are mainly people focus on, such as gender-based violence, infertility, but there are a lot of them that are left behind, such as you can see nowadays, it's about climate change. Think about it. Is there something done in your context? If you have opportunity to write proposal on it, that would be really nice and generate more evidence in that field. And then you have LGBTQI+ people. They are just generally marginalized in some contexts. Are the research conducted? One example talked about it in Jordan. You have to generate that evidence. You have to produce some knowledge product to reach out to this group. Think about it. The sex worker as well. We have sexual pleasure, this topic, that are not very developed. Decolonizing CSE practices, community-led intervention, abortion and trans, self-managed abortion. In a lot of contexts, people don't have a lot of knowledge about it. That's a very interesting topic. Disability as well, infertility, and menstrual health. So these are examples to inspire you on the kind of topic you might work in this area to be more innovative and creative, because as already mentioned, there are a lot of evidence already in other teams in the SRHR field. So these are some inspiration for you. And then let's move to the basic research. That's a kind of reminder for I truly believe most of you know about what are the type of research that existing. You can use if you conduct, for example, some generation of evidence in your proposals. It could be the type 3, or in the type 2 and 1, you have some generation component. You can use a quantitative method, which is describe and measure problems and issues. So it allow us to determine causal relationship. So it's to be measured to determine and establish causal relationship. And for the sampling, you have to focus on testing the statistical significance of difference, relationships, and representation of the study population. And the methods are conducted through structured interview, the surveys, direct observation, analysis is done through numbers comparison, and associated with some narrative. So that's about kind of quantitative research. It's about numbers in a nutshell. And then the other type of research is qualitative, as you know. And this type of research identifies relationship between factors and issues. It allows to describe, identify, explore, and place in context. And for sampling in qualitative research, you have to focus on the inclusion of relevant groups so that the data represent the variety of ideas, opinions, perceptions, social context, and other factors that influence the investigated issue. And as method, you use semi-structured interviews. You can conduct participatory observation or focus group discussion. And for the analysis is generally type of narrative or summaries. So these are the mainly research methods used, but also you can combine both, which give you mixed methods, or you can still conduct a participatory research if you want to involve the community you are researching on from the start of the research in all the steps. That's a very way to really have a meaningful participation of your target group. So that's the research methodology. And then when you talk about research basic, we don't forget about referencing. And last year, the application form, we did not request the applicant to fill out the reference they use as in their proposal. But we think that it's very important that you prove that the information in the proposal is very, we can rely on it. We have links to check. If, for example, you mention that these are data from there and there, we can know where to go and double check and make sure that it's very relevant. So there is a section added to the application form for these references, but no worries, this part doesn't count for the word count. So you can add as long as you want and much as you want reference for this part. Okay, so after that, we will see now the dissemination strategy. You implement your project, you develop your knowledge products, you have to really share it with in your context, but also with all the Share-Net members. And so as example of dissemination, we have social media campaign as listed here. And the list is long: webinar, workshop, film festival, depending on which kind of knowledge product you have and which is the best way to really convey the message you want to the end user. So these are examples of dissemination strategy. And bear in mind there is one question in the application form where we ask about the dissemination strategy. So think about it and link it always to your knowledge product, how you disseminate it and your target group, so they can really receive the right information. And then this is an example of knowledge product, this infographic that we give here about what is gamification. So I will share the slide with you so you can read it in details, but it's kind of giving you an example of what is a knowledge product. And infographics and apps, it depends a lot of the list is very exhaustive. So yes, to conclude, we are at the end of our session, and I would say, yes, surprise us. I hope this session was very helpful and for you, and give you some insight on how you can best write good proposals. And please, if you have any question, further question, or need more information, if you are from Burundi, Burkina Faso, and Colombia Hub, please reach out to my colleague, Maria Codina. You can see her email on the slide. And if you are from Bangladesh, Ethiopia, Jordan, and the Netherlands, you can reach out to Ophelia Charteray. For the international members, by international member, I mean all the Share-Net members that don't belong to a Share-Net hub. So they are called international member. You can reach out to myself. Here is my email address. And as I mentioned, now all our own application system is online via the digital platform. So you might come against some issue accessing the form or during the peer review, opening access. These are the technical questions. If you have them, please use this email address, info@sharenetinternational.org, to ask your question. We will get to you back as soon as possible. So yes, that was the session. It was a very long session, and thanks a lot for your patience, your commitment, and meaningful participation. And I hope you learn from each other a lot, and wish you good luck with writing your proposal. You still have 3 weeks before the deadline, the 31st of October. But again, submit on time, so you make sure that you won't miss out the deadline. Thanks a lot, and have a nice evening or morning or rest of the day, wherever you are in the world. And again, thanks a lot to my colleague Felice for your support. Yes, thanks a lot. I'm wrapping up. So see you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.